What's up, everybody? Nostalgic Goggles 43 here. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. We continue to have technical difficulties. Not as bad as the battery dying, but there was no audio the first time we tried streaming, so we're going to try this again, and hopefully you all can hear me. Hey, buddy, what's up, Spitz the Greatest? Can you hear me now? Maybe? Yeah, all right. Let's get right into it. Already poured my drink. So, cheers. We'll load. Actually, let me go back. Can I go back? Maybe I can't go back. Got to turn slow motion dunks on in the main menu. How you doing tonight, Spitz the Greatest? Come on. Busy. So that's right. You were telling me about the new job trying to get set up remotely. 2-hour phone conference. That is a lot of phone conference. Slow motion dunks are on, so I guess it's a public. Good for it. Yeah, one of the things you had mentioned to me when we were trying to get the battery to work was not doing anything that could save it, but this game actually auto saves pretty much every time you leave a menu, which is kind of nice. Somewhat postage. Ended a bit ago. Now you're hungry and you're watching me and you're modding another Twitch streamer. Wow, look at you go. Well, I appreciate you you being here. So we're gonna start the lineup that excelled last night. 40 something plus minus. I didn't write down exactly. I'm running from paper notes again. It's like I used to. That is advanced for 1995. We got Murdoch, Rashford, Ellis, Jones, and Wright. So we're going to try something tonight. We're going to try a couple things, actually. One thing is that poor Sean Rashford never had a chance to get to 100. He's supposed to do that in the game after the game that didn't work. So we're going to give him another shot. And the other thing, so we're going to try to fulfill that particular patron request. Another patron request is that we get everybody on the leaderboard for points per game. It was too late during the season, but we already have the top 2 slots here, and you only need 19 to get on. We can't get the entire team on, but we can get 10 people. Thanks. So, especially in these early rounds, if we're going to be winning games by 70, we're going to give that a go. That's how it's going to be. You know how else it's going to be? 10% of anything I make tonight goes to the Retina Foundation of the Southwest. They are trying to cure macular degeneration, other such things. They do good stuff. Please support them. Now let's do this thing. So last night we had a bit of a slow start, you know, for us. You were up late last night recording some stats. Kind of dragging today. Ah, yes. NFL 2K5. Had a beer today and some whiskey. I hope they were enjoyable. Tasty stuff. I'm a big fan of the Iron Smoke whiskey. It's even got a spell on it. It's appropriate for our current quarantine times. Wait, did it remember player lock? That's weird. It's never done that. This is the wrong one. Ha! It's been weeks since you drank and went right to your head. Oh, that's right. It does remember player lock, just not which player to lock. Now I remember. I've forgotten how to play. You said it last night. That week off just killed me. I have. It's awful. It's not at all like riding a bike. Where is he? All right, Rustford. There we go. All right. Having technical difficulties. Controller. So now the secret is out. I don't know why my mappings got all messed up, but here we are. Didn't want to deal with another battery, dead battery, so this is what we did. Judge away. There we go. At least after all that, we hit the shot. That's the important thing, right? There we go. Rustford close up again. Yeah, the screen size is a little bit different. Apparently also much clearer. Boy, this lineup is just dominating them. There we go. Unfortunately, I'm having audio problems and not really sure what exactly that's about. Well, I was bound to miss one eventually. What? That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Come on, ref. He just didn't want there to be a shutout. If we'd gotten up 12-0, we maybe wouldn't have stopped. The ref is fixing the game. He's doing a terrible job. I should have challenged that. How do you challenge it? I need a 16-bit challenge. Man, Rustford's going to score 100 this quarter. Yelled at an NFL 2K5 ref today because of a missed call. Told him to open his eyes. There we go. As this keeps up, I might have to take him to 200. Yeah, timeout. 21-2 is an excellent time to call timeout. Atlanta Hawks have doubled their score. If you know I missed that, I think my foot was on the line. Gave me 2-point logic instead of 3-point logic. Consecutive comments from Spitz the Greatest. This is an all-time lineup. It's over. Take them out. There we go. Well, this is the lineup that had a plus-minus somewhere in the vicinity of 40 last night against these same Hawks. Prisoner of the moment. Well put. Nope. Said like a true sports fan. What sports? Oh, yeah, too soon. Sorry. This is sports, man. I am all the professional basketball that's happening live there is that I know of. I suppose there's probably somebody streaming 2K. I'm getting paid. The Huey Lewis album, man, that is 2 streams in a row that Huey Lewis has come up. I think I can say with confidence, this is the only professional basketball that talks about Huey Lewis 2 days in a row. It's happening right now. Ugh. Nope. More hot takes. Unironically enjoy Huey Lewis. I do too. I think especially by 80s band standard, their stuff has aged a lot better than most of that era. You might be right, actually. In terms of, oh. Yeah, it's time. All right, we're not going to 200. We'll let him rest a little bit. That was a very good lineup. Instead, we'll go... Oh, he's not even all that tired. It's so light and fun. You know, light and fun is exactly what we all need right now. So what I'm trying to provide here. Murdoch, Hubert Davis, Ellis, Oliver Miller, and Sharon Wright. So I decided rather than just letting him go to 100 and then sitting him down, once he gets 25 and a quarter, we'll let him take a little breather and put Davis in. That way they'll both be fresher and hopefully make more shots. New approach for scoring 100 points in a game with one player. We've done it so many times that I've had time to have an approach and then change it and then take a new approach. There you go, Sharon. Take that in. Oh. Or get it stripped. At least you got the offensive board. Yes, here's a hot take. I mentioned last night that I've been taking advantage of the free trial of League Pass. I've been watching real Raptors games. But I've noticed teams aren't even trying for offensive rebounds in a lot of possessions anymore. They're just like ceding it to the defense and getting back on defense. And I don't know. Like, I know I'm a data guy, as is obvious to anyone who's been watching this for any length of time. So I'm all about empiricism, and I know that the data don't suggest that offensive rebounds do much, but it just feels wrong to me. Like, there's gotta be, like, that's the one thing that doesn't pass the smell test. Sharon Wright with authority. I mean, they are getting back on D. I don't know if it's specifically to prevent easy threes. I do know that the games I've been watching, the perimeter defense was a lot stronger than it was when the Warriors first started breaking things. So teams have figured out, to a degree at least, how to guard the perimeter better than they were. So it could be related to that. But I don't know. Like, I think the problem with offensive rebound analytics is because in order to get an offensive rebound, by definition, you missed the shot, right? So it's already a suboptimal possession. But I think given missed shots, like, I don't know, there's got to be value there. Like, you've got someone who's grabbing the ball right under your own basket. They could kick it back out for a three. Like, I'd heard it hypothesized that that was what Dennis Rodman's real strength was to the team offensively, was getting the offensive rebound, kicking it out to a Steve Kerr or a coach like that. Get him to put it up. Ugh, that's a heartbreaker. That score isn't, though. Much better tonight than last night. That lineup seemed pretty okay. Oh. Check it out, Davis, 12 points. Not too shabby. We will try changing it out. Muggsy Bogues. Sean Respert. Tracy Murray make his first appearance. And Ed Pinckney make his first appearance. And Sharon Wright stays because he is in all of our dominant lineups. Stealth MVP, Sharon Wright. There we go. This is another lineup we ran last night that was not quite as dominant as our the one that we started, but still very, very strong. I believe their PM was somewhere around 24, which in a lot of games would have been our best. 11 block shots in the first quarter and change. Ah, Sharon. Brutal. Yeah. It's up to 50, and I think only 14 of our points have come from not Sean Respert. Yeah, that is a great timeout. Who was coaching the Hawks at this point? Fratello? Thing I should know. I don't think it was still Lenny. Maybe it was. So Sean Respert, the rookie, who in real life played for Milwaukee this whole season and then was traded to Toronto in the offseason. His three-point rating was stellar, coming out of Kentucky, I believe, 8th overall pick. He had a short NBA career, I believe only 2 seasons. But his three-point rating in this game is really high. So there you have it. I just had to give someone a timeout on the other stream. Day in the life of a mod. Would that I had enough people here to have you put people on timeouts here. In a sense, it's a good problem to have. That was an ugly off-balance shot when I released it. I was thinking I should have taken the easy 2, but it went in. Now I'm good. It's kind of weird inbounding it. That's how this game's been. Like, so few of my possessions have started on the sideline. Like, what do? I have to bring this all the way down the court? Some contact over there. All right, take that, Muggsy. Muggsy Bogues. That bucket purchased for us by Dr. Ambassador Dortmunder, wherever he is. Thank you for your support. Huge Muggsy Bogues booster. A large factor in bringing Muggsy to Toronto several seasons too early. Ah. Bad shot. Suppose I could make you a mod here, Spitz the Greatest. You could give yourself a timeout when you get too rowdy. Whoa! Too many hot takes. Good bad. Yeah, what do you got for us tonight? I rather enjoyed your hot takes, regardless of their true temperature. Thank you. I mean, that's a mod job if I've ever seen one, right? The official airball emoji of Nostalgia Goggles 3. There we go. Not even halftime, we were up by almost as much as we won the game by last night. Murray with the long rebound after all the rest of us miss it. Rosberg continues to shoot very well. Oh. 18-3 on the turnovers. Pinckney pulls it in. Very similar situation. So that's what I'm talking about. Offensive rebounding. If I could have capitalized. 2 big boards for Ed Pinckney. Right with the block. Put that back. Pinckney. Back out to Rosberg. Fundamentals. That one's for you, Spitz the Greatest. Patron at our buy a bucket tier. Ooh. That's my job. Asked and answered. So I'm watching new games. I know that when you watch old races, you find the difference just astounding in terms of rules and styles. Yeah. Gotta believe offensive rebounds are dead as a direct result of threes being so popular. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that is a good point. People are more out of position than they used to be. I mean, you've even got centers who are playing out on the perimeter to take 3-point shots if they're the ones who end up being open. You get a lot of ball movement out there, and it could just be that it's not worth the effort to try to get in and then box out at that point. The Reszpert, 71 points in half. So 5 rebounds and 4 steals. Pretty solid numbers. He didn't even play the entire half. And that's really the story of the game right there. I actually thought our field goal percentage would be higher. Yeah, that's a good point I hadn't considered. Maybe it is just a positioning thing. Who are the only identical twin brothers currently playing in the NBA? You know? Oh, thank you. Well, you are answering that. Tim Troy, humanitarian and philanthropist. Spitz the Great, Dr. Pastor Portlander, they are my patrons, and they are not identical twins. All unique and beautiful in their own way, and I appreciate their support. 10% of anything I make tonight goes to the Retina Foundation Southwest. Envision a world without goggles. I'm not affiliated with them. I just give them 10% of what I make, and you could give them something I assume would be less than 10% of what you make if you want. Or, 10% of what you make if you put it online. There's links in my Twitch profile. I had a cold streak of like 3 possessions. That's true. The Grant brothers, Horace and Harvey, is my answer to the question. So that lineup did really well. Wait, thanks. Did I leave him? Try somebody different. On my screen there. No, I knocked my pen over. Alright, I assume you're off modding or something. I'll just let these guys run a little bit. No need to take them out yet. I was wondering, should I go down to the next lineup on the list or leave these guys now that they're rested? Second quarter through. Run it up. Alright. And because we all are also trying to work the leaderboards, once Reszpert does, off to a great start. These are professional basketball players, everybody. Off balance shot. Murray with the board. Got an appetite for destruction tonight. Axl Rose style. So I think, hot take, Guns N' Roses aren't good. Yeah, I mean, I get the impression that you kind of had to be there. You and I are both a little bit too young to have really appreciated them when they were new. I don't think anyone would argue that Axl Rose is a classically good singer. Yeah, I think Slash is a solid guitarist. Their rhythm section is good. I like their music more than their lyrics. I do think Axl Rose being the new singer for AC/DC is a really good fit. Not that I'm a big fan of either Guns N' Roses or AC/DC. Reszpert with the air ball. Hopefully he's not running out of gas. Fortunately, the Hawks have not given any indication that they have fueled up at all at halftime. Whoa, that is 2 in a row. Maybe he needs a little breather. I mean, he's not tired, but I think he needs a little breather. We'll bring in Damon Stoudemire. First time he has played in these here playoffs. So let Hubert Davis come in for a little bit. And then let's check Reszpert's score, actually. Yeah, he's got 79 already. He could probably even sit the rest of the quarter if it came to that. Murray, Jones, And again with Sharon Wright, he is in our top 5 performing lineups of the season, which is pretty incredible. At least of the post-trade deadline season. Oh, I thought I had that. The other stream actually needs modding for the first time ever. You had to ban a dude. You don't know what's going on? I mean, I know what's going on. Everybody is grumpy because they've been inside for a month. I yelled at my 2-year-old today, like legit, like yelled. And she was being a pain, but she's 2. That's what they do. What did she do? It was more, well, the direct result of it was not actually what she was doing in that moment, because this was after. Whoa! I gotta see if we can go back part of it, see what happened there. All right. Just went up to block and right down. Anyway, so it wasn't really what she was doing in the morning, in the moment. It was more that she got up at 3 a.m. and did not go back to sleep until about 6 a.m. And which is out of character for her. That is, oh, 2-year-olds. You know, their brain is literally only partially formed, but it's still hard to understand them. Hot take. And I'm just struggling on this half of the court since halftime. Fortunately, they are struggling at all points in the court. There we go. Why do you do the things that you do? Indeed. That's the craziest part about kids, as a friend put it. You know, the reasoning engine is there more or less intact, but it just, they've got the strangest inputs. Ugh. Suppose I waited a little long on that. Decided to try setting my feet, see if that made a difference. Ah. I think it's been long enough. We'll bring Westbrook back in. 24 points for Hubert Davis. Good jabby. Folks. Westbrook back up, fully recharged. Ellis. And Pinckney. Back. And you guessed it, Sharon Wright. This is the 5th and final lineup with Sharon. Oh man, they made a shot. That doesn't bode well. Nope. No good. Next dead ball. They're coming up. Atlanta actually blocked the shot. Bad news. All right. Come on. There we go. Timeout. Nope, nope, nope. All right, we will try Murdoch, Westbrook. Put Murray back in. Jones. And Miller. There it is. Already better. I believe that's 85. Sean Respert. Great pass. Was not able to execute on it. '88. '91. You wish you could go back and experience the music scene in the late '80s as hair bands gave way to stuff like Metallica and GNR, and then to grunge. Why is that? What appeals to you about that era? Is it the ability to throw a pass before you jump out of bounds? Raptor lead drops to 70. 94. None of the music appeals to you. You think it must have been an exciting time for music because hair bands are awful. The '80s as a whole are just kind of awful for music. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the pop music is kind of true. I mean, that's sort of like, I feel like talking about the '80s just in terms of, you know, the synth pop and hair bands would be kind of like talking about the '90s with just like Ace of Base and Nickelback. Like the '80s were also kind of the rise of the independent music scene. So, you know, you've got like the Pixies, for instance, even REM. A lot of my favorite REM stuff was recorded in the '90s, but really they're more of an '80s band. This lineup just fell apart. Oof. Good closing seconds here. What? He was like back on the ground. There we go. Respert putting it away. Nice. Elo with the block. Finally decided to start defending me. As they were saying, the pop music was the popular music of the era, so Ace of Base and Cyndi Lauper are fair reflections of the most popular music in that era. The pop music of the '80s and '90s is just awful. Boy bands need to stay dead. And I mean, again, I don't know. Like, I feel like we remember, because we have music videos and stuff, the fluffy pop has endured more than it did in the '60s. Like, think of all the countless, like, Beatles knockoff groups from the '60s that you never hear anything about anymore. Horace and Harvey Grant. Got it. All right, so let's take a look. I think that was 99 for Respert. We'll confirm. 100 on the dot. Awesome. So he will not return. Put in Hubert Davis. Try to get him over 40. If he gets to 38, then he hits the leaderboard. And Murray. Good Jones is good, and Miller is good. So that actually the only difference. Huh, that's fun. Only difference is Davis. Yeah. Stay up late some night for a Time Life collection from the 60s, and you'll think to yourself, this is garbage. Yeah, I think it's just pop music in general doesn't age well. And maybe it wasn't even good at the time. Oh, sure, an interesting time to experience such a radical transition. Yeah, I can get behind that. Because I could have just let Miller take that. Whether you like the actual music is almost irrelevant. Well, sure, that's possible. I've heard it suggested recently that rock music is less of a genre and more of an identity. Which I have mixed feelings about as a concept. So I think that's 33 for Davis, where we start spreading the love. Going from Van Halen to Nirvana must have been mind-blowing. Now, I will take exception to lumping Van Halen in with hair bands, especially like David Lee Roth Van Halen. Those albums are terrific. I don't know. I think they are to hair metal what the Beatles were to all of those 60s groups that we were just talking about. I really appreciate the jazz influence in particular on Van Halen. So Davis needs one more. All right. Who else you want on the leaderboards? What's the greatest? Who should go up next? We've got Ellis, Murray, Respert, and now Davis. We'll just flinch it. Oh, no, we won't. Who should I go for next? Pinkney. I figured you'd say that. Pinkney. Let's see. I don't have a. Was that right? I actually don't have a lineup with. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter if he's not. Pinkney, Respert. Doing this all out of order. Muggsy Bogues. I need to get Muggsy in one more basket anyway. Murray will stay even though he's exhausted. He's not going to be either. Whatever. Teron Wright almost back up to full strength. Guy's a machine. So we'll turn player lock off for a little bit. Muggsy his other bucket. So jumping back to something you asked about a while ago with new games. So I actually do have some interest in going back and like watching some Raptor games from this era, which is certainly a possibility on things like YouTube. But the official NBA League Pass only has the current season and whatever. And finals games from since 2000, which is interesting because the NBA, unlike the other major sports leagues, actually owns the right to all of its footage from history. So they could have like a Netflix thing where you could watch like every game, like back to the 60s. Oh, Muggsy, no. Why would I do this? I've made a huge mistake. So the other leagues have their TV deal left it that Pinckney, nope. That the broadcast networks own, at least jointly own, the rights to the footage. That's why you have the thing about like you need the express written consent of Major League Baseball and NBC or whatever network it is. But the NBA, they don't own the commentary rights necessarily, but they actually have sole discretion over the footage, which is unusual, I guess. Pinckney. There he is. Okay, so interesting. The fire logic must just be whoever makes the third in a row for your team. I wonder if that's a bug. So, to my understanding, yes. The question is, does that mean that the league can rebroadcast any game as long as they don't have the commentary? I believe that is so. So I don't understand as the NBA why you don't just set up a subscription service for $10 a month where I can watch anything. I can watch the old Jordan stuff. I can watch the Magic Johnson stuff. If I want to watch the first season of the Raptors, I can do that. I wonder if they feel like it would just compete too much with their current product and everybody would just be watching Jordan. Muggsy Bogues, that bucket purchased for us by Tim Troy, humanitarian and philanthropist. Thank you, Mr. Troy, for your support. Wonder if that means NASCAR owns all the rights because they're starting to post full races more and more on their official YouTube channel with broadcast teams from all different networks, some that don't carry NASCAR anymore. Yeah, it could be. When I said major sports, I was thinking of the Big Four. I don't actually know how NASCAR works. Pinckney, coast to coast, unassisted, 40% from the field. Ed Pinckney. I believe he'll have more of a chance in Game 3 as well, because I believe the other player who needs to get to 100 is Popeye Jones. So he'll do the same split time thing we were doing with Davis and Rustberg tonight. The other thing is, the reason I know about this with the NBA is they recently took a huge undertaking. I guess a lot of the old games were actually recorded on 35 millimeter film, like back in the Wilt Chamberlain era, and apparently they're gorgeous. The photography in them, and the NBA just went through considerable expense to digitize all of that. I mean, this was several years ago at this point. But the thought at the time was that they were gearing up to offer some sort of retro streaming service or add-on pack to NBA League Pass. But it's 2020 and we're all locked in our houses and there's no actual basketball on and it still hasn't materialized. That makes me think. Like, if ever there was a time for them to do this, it would be right now. Yeah, it is fantastic that they have that skill. And good on them for preserving it. I mean, even if they in some ways, that actually, I respect them more for taking on the undertaking, yeah, of making sure that all that stuff gets preserved for posterity if they're not immediately planning to monetize it. I mean, good on them. One of the saddest things with NASCAR is that there's painfully little footage from the 60s and 70s. Augment just said, no thanks. You can have it, Ed. Pinkney for 3. No. Had to do it. Old time's sake. Has he made a threesomes to full court shot? Of course not. Absolutely not. Sean Respert, 100 points on the dot, 8 rebounds, 4 steals, and 2 assists. Okay, when you're scoring 100, not bad. Sean Respert, we talked about him earlier, 8th overall pick in 1995 by the Milwaukee Bucks. Traded to the Raptors, Tracy Earl in the offseason. We just pushed it up a little bit. We wanted his three-point shooting. Maybe you were off Baden or something. Short career in the NBA. Yes, we did need more three-point. Absolutely. We certainly didn't need less three-point. Ed Pinkney, 30% from the field. Look at that. Thing of beauty. So Sharon Wright, I probably should have scored some more points. Wow. Sharon Wright got a double-double without points, I think. Yep, only 4 points. 10 rebounds, 10 blocks. 7 steals. He almost got a triple-double without points, which has only happened like twice in NBA history. Yeah, that's wild. Not that one. All right. Over here, Elo had a much quieter game. Blaylock did about that well first time around. What about a quadruple double? Like, has it happened, you mean? I want to say yes, but I'm not actually certain. If your modding responsibilities allow you to do a quick Google, you can report back, look through these stats. By the way, I feel so vindicated that I go through and check all of these things now after the battery disaster. Because if I didn't, 5 players have done it. All right, hit me. There you go. So second half, much worse than the first half for us, which I could have told you from the score. No shots for Dale Ellis, and he will still be the playoff. Well, actually, no, he won't. Restford will pass him, but he will still lead any non-Raptor in playoff scoring. See how Restford did quarter by quarter. Got cold in the third. Most recent was David Robinson in 1994. So there you go. Has not happened since this game came out. 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 blocks. Good on you, David Robinson. Davis actually got better as the game went on. Then we stopped shooting with him. There we go. Pinkney. All in the fourth quarter. Let's see them break down by 2 points and 3 points. All right. Good on you, Ed. Once again, I shot worse than the AI. Although in my defense, the AI only got gimme shots. Olajuwon did it twice, both times in 1990. The dream. I guess it makes sense. You probably need to have a center doing it so they can get the blocks in there. All right, so looking over here, looking like the top seeds are probably going to prevail. Surprise there. And then back on our side, Chicago and Boston still a bit of a toss-up, but we will save the game. Then we'll do a quick check of the playoff leaderboard to see where we're at. There you go. Rashford, Ellis, Tracy Murray has been passed by David Robinson after scoring like 0 points this game. And then Hubert Davis, 19.5. So we now have 4 of the top 10 places on the leaderboard. Minutes will never be on. Field goal percentage, dominating there, no surprise. Sharon Wright has not missed a shot in the playoffs. On fire. We haven't taken a free throw in the playoffs. I don't know why I checked that. Here we go. Davis, Ellis, Rashford, and Murray, 4 of the top 5 3-point percentage. Where is Ed Pinckney? Offensive rebounds, not us. Defensive rebounds, also not us. Block shots, though. Papa Jones, Eric Murdoch, Ed Pinckney, Sharon Wright. Steals, look at that. Who is Sean Rashford, you say? 52.5 points per game after a 100-point performance. There it is. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Nostalgic Goggles for Spree. Please come back tomorrow night or whenever you feel like it on YouTube and watch Game 3 versus the Hawks. Hopefully we'll put the series away. Stay well. Be nice to each other. Good night.